We are back, we're back, we're back. You are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 FM. My name is Kym Dominique-Ferguson. I'm in studios with
Renee Jordan.
And we are talking to international award-winning author Jessica Cage, based in Chicago, Illinois. She writes fantasy fiction, adult fantasy fiction. And so I found you. Well, I didn't find you. Well, I found you. I connected with you on TikTok, which I feel has been like a really good platform for all kinds of artists. How has that platform been for you? Like, what has happened for you in terms of being on TikTok as an author?
I am shocked. So I got on TikTok, I think like most people, like quarantine and just like finding something to pass the time. I didn't post. I was just one of the people lurking. I'm like, what am I going to post on TikTok? I write books, like there's nothing. But then I was like, let me just introduce myself, and it was insane. Like the love I got from just saying like, hey, I'm here, I write books and, whatever. I was shocked. Like in a short time, I've gotten quite a big like following there. And I think it's the power of the For You page, which is like, I see stuff that is so specifically me on that page that I'm a little bit worried about it, but also excited because it means that the right people are seeing, my work. And I've seen a huge boost in just sales and reviews and just readers reaching out to me, which is so exciting for everything that I'm planning, moving forward, to be able to connect with, new readers and audiences and figure out, what you guys are wanting to see. It's been really exciting.
Yeah. One of my questions is, because you write books, and now we're in the 1 minute video era, the very short attention span era. Have you found it challenging in terms of like getting people to be interested in books, especially a medium that you have to really sit down and take it in? Even though you say the books are short, it's still, you're going to be there for more than an hour reading, even if you're a really fast reader.
Yeah. Well, so as an author, as a writer, we have to have what we call elevator pitches. We have to be able to pitch our books within like 3 sentences, right?
Right.
And
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, here you go.
My standard elevator pitch is, hi, I'm Jessica Cage. I write books of fantasy featuring strong characters of color. And that alone is usually enough to be like, all right, tell me more, right? But if I'm talking about a specific book, so for like Siren series, I will say, this book is about Serenata. She's the daughter of a siren and a warlock. Both sides of her family tree think that she's too powerful to exist, and now she's on a run to save her life. So I have to be able to put that in there, like, wait, siren and warlock, what? Wait, both sides of her family? You want to like put these little plot points in their head right away, right? So it's something that we are tuning and trying to fine tune forever. Like our book descriptions have to capture you in 300 words or less. So we're always, challenging ourselves. It's just translating that to video. And I thought it would be more difficult, but it really isn't. I like to put together, graphic images and stuff like that. So if you find the right music for TikTok, you can put it all together. And then it's like, I just hop on whatever trend they have going and apply it to my books. You know what I mean? So if there's a catchy tune or whatever, transition, like, some of the transition, I love the ones where they like flip their hair and their makeup is different or whatever. I'll find a way to like flip a piece of paper and now it's a book. You know what I mean? Like, right. I'm going to get on your For You page doing the trend, but then like intriguing you with something a little bit different, making it my own.
Right.
Interesting sales angle. I was just thinking myself this week, we're spending so much time lately on the screen that I'm actually, and I stopped buying paper books. I was like, they're taking up too much space, and I started buying a lot of ebooks. But now I feel like I need to move back to the paper books because of all this screen time. Do you find that you're selling more paper books these days?
Yes. I I think it's the same. Like, even I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm looking at my job computer for so many hours a day, and then I'm looking at my phone for, like, you know, my social media stuff, and then I have to be on my computer writing. So it's a lot of screen time. I've always been a paperback girl. Like, only time I do ebooks is if I'm traveling, because you can then take 300 books with you in one little device, and it's fine. I don't want to carry a bag with that many books in it. So I've always been paperback. I love holding it, the physical touch. But I'm seeing lately a lot more people are investing. Even people, because you can come to my website and buy books directly from me. I've seen an influx of those purchases. It's just people are at home and they're just trying to be, you know, comfortable. And I feel like there's a level of comfort that comes with sitting in a corner with a book disconnected, because with a paperback or a hardback, you're disconnected from the world. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like,
there's no call interrupting. There's no text message interrupting that time.
No notifications dropping down on the top of the page, you know, interrupting.
Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And also, if you are upside down reading the book and the book slips out of your hand, you're not going to break your nose.
It depends on the book. Like,
well, I don't know. Her book is 400 pages. I know 400 pages could fly at your face.
Yeah. No, 400 pages is
a bit of
damage. The damage is definitely less if it's a book.
Yeah.
Maybe we could create something for you, though, with like a little bungee cord and hang off the book, you know.
Well, I've always loved books. Like, even now, like, I have 3 bookcases full of books, and some of those are doubled up as it is. So I'll take hardcover books, softcover books any day over. I've never gotten into reading ebooks.
Really?
I've never read anything on a phone or on an iPad. It just doesn't appeal to me. I love flipping pages.
You know what? I think it depends on the type of book that you're reading. So I think if it's a fantasy book, you're going to keep turning the pages and you're sort of absorbing the story as you go. Whereas if it's a self-help book, or if it's a book for school or something where you're learning something, you highlight a lot of stuff. So, and once you highlight them on an ebook, you're able to kind of put them all on one page, which you can't really do when you have the book. That's what I think is the reason why the ebook sort of won me over in some aspects. And then I don't have to think about what to do with it afterwards. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, this book is so good, but it's just sitting here and it's gathering dust. And then I pick it up to give it away, and I'm like, no, but I like this page, and I have this bookmark in it. And so I'm like, at least if it's in my phone, it's so small, and I have it all the time. The whole collection. Yeah, but that's just me.
I grew up in a household where it felt like I was living in Beauty and the Beast. My grandmother had a literal wall-size bookshelf.
Okay.
Double-sided. So I get it from her. Like,
double-sided?
Yes, and I used to have a little nook that I would sit in that was right by the bookshelf, and it was like hidden away, and I would sit there in my nook because I was tiny at the time, and I could fit there. No one else could, so it was like my little space that I would read. And sometimes I would be grabbing books off that shelf. I had no business reading at that age, but that's another story.
I know a little bit about that. Like, my stepmother used to put books on top of the
top shelf?
The top shelf.
The top shelf book?
And I just jump on a chair, and then I just start reading the book, and I'm like, whoo, wait a minute. This is a bit hotter than I thought. I'm still reading it, though. I had no business reading those books at that age, but I found them, and I read them. I love how parents hide books, quote unquote, but they're not hidden. It's like it's on the bookshelf. Like, if you're going to hide it, make some effort.
You know, but I was listening to something the other day, and they were talking about encouraging your kids to read. And they said it's so much better to have that physical book, because when your kids see you with the phone, like if I'm reading an ebook, they don't know if I'm reading a book or checking messages or listening to, I don't know, video music or something passive. But if they see a book, then they're like, okay, you know, mommy reads, or you know, daddy reads, or my sister reads, or my aunt reads, or whoever reads. If you see a lot of reading around you, then it becomes like regular nature, and it just becomes something that's natural to them. So then they wouldn't have these like sort of attitudes once they get to school, like, oh, why is this person always reading all the time? That's weird, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's just normal.
Yeah, I agree. My son has a bookshelf of his own now. He's an avid reader, and he organizes his bookshelves based on his reading, like his interest of it. And then he has a shelf that's like books he'll never get rid of, like no matter how old he gets. Because at the end of every year, we will donate the books that he's read to his school or to any like, local program that we can find. But I think it's because he grew up around me and my grandmother. Predominantly, we had physical books, and he saw it, and he would like emulate us. He would go get a book, even though he could not read at the time, and he would sit on the couch next to me with his book, and he'd just be, flipping pages. And it's like you said, they are, your kids are going to do what they see. You know what I mean? You have to be that example. And like you said, on your phone, I could be doing anything on my phone. I could be, watching TikToks all day. You don't know. So I do try to make it a point that we have reading time, and now it's like I don't even have to do it. He does it himself. I can find him any day in a corner reading a book about, and he's into fantasy. He's like loving this, like Wings of Fire. I think that's what it's called. It's like dragons and stuff. So very much his mother's child.
I don't know if you have any views on this, but when you're growing up and you're in school, the curriculum seems to be so structured and so strict in terms of the type of books that you're reading. And the books sometimes don't appeal to young people, or don't appeal maybe to Black youth. They don't necessarily see themselves in those classics that are read in school. Like, do you think that there should be a little bit of an opening in the curriculum in terms of what they read and how they read and how it's structured?
Absolutely. That's without a doubt. And I mean, nothing against the classics, but like bring some new stuff in, like show, because I feel like there's so much more representation now than there ever was before. And that's needed. And not just for the kid of, that's colored, like a person of color, but for white kids too. Like they should be reading stuff that is more than just themselves. You know what I mean? That's how you learn empathy, and, you understand other cultures. It's important. And I think a lot of people think that when I say, oh, I write POC, that I feel like it should only be POC. Like, no, I feel like there should be more representation. So even my white readers, who I have a lot of, can pick up these books and see us in a positive light. You know what I mean? And see us as human, because we're all going through the same mental, emotional growth, and they don't see that enough. You know what I mean? So I think for both sides of it, there needs to be an opening. There needs to be an opportunity to introduce them to newer works that represent them, right? I don't know. It's been so many books that, about Shakespeare. I'm like, how many stories about Shakespeare can I read throughout my, grade school and high school? I'm like, if I read one more Shakespeare novel. But I was lucky enough that I had instructors outside, even my grandmother, of course, but like I had teachers who encouraged me with material like Octavia Butler, and you know what I mean? Like they brought in material that represented me. It may me not have been the ones that I wanted to read at the time, but it gave me something that showed me in a positive light.
Sort of a springboard to the future, I guess.
Yes.
And tell me about the covers. I've noticed on the covers, the images on the covers. Do you choose Black artists to do those images? How do you select a cover?
So I work with 3 independent designers. They are all POC. Mm-hmm. I didn't always. I had some white cover designers in the past, and we always had points of contention when it came to finding the images necessary for my covers, right? Back in the day, which has changed, and I'm so very thankful, there was not a lot of like amazing stock photos of Black people, okay? It was very hard. And when you found one, he or she was on everybody's cover, okay? Like everybody found it. So I ended up paying for my own, you know, models to pose and for pictures. You know what I mean? I ended up, I did the extra because I'm like, I want these covers to be what I want. But I got into some issues with designers who just became kind of complacent, a little bit lazy when it came to creating my covers. And I'm like, I see that you have the capability. You're talented enough to do this because you've created this cover for other people or like similar covers for what I'm asking. But when it comes to doing it with a person of color, all of a sudden you can't find the design, you can't find the images, like it's an issue. So then I was like, you know what, I'm going to branch out, you know, and find designers who are not only dedicated and giving the energy and the effort, but our POC, like, let's bring it in. And
it spread the money in our community. Exactly.
I'm like, we could, like, I'm so tired of fighting with, you know, white cover designers about putting a black face on my book. Like, I'm done.
But what was the real struggle about? Like, what do you think was the difficulty for them in doing that?
I don't know if it was just that they were, because like if you go and you say like, I wanted a black woman in the power stance, like, you know, something like strong and whatever. If you go to a stock photo and you put in black woman, they're like in office attire or something, because typically they're used for like diversity shots for corporations. There's not a lot that's happening. So it took a little bit more. You might have to take a face from this person or a body from this person. Like a lot of my characters on my covers are piecemeal. They don't look like that in real life. You won't see them walking down the street and be like, hey, you're that guy from that cover.
Right.
No, okay, because it takes some effort. And I see it, for me to see you do this with white characters over and over and over, and then when it comes to my characters, I can't find the pose, I can't find the hair, I can't find this, I can't find that. It just became like, you know what, you can't find my money either. I'm just going to go somewhere else. And I will work with someone who is going to do what I need, okay?
All right. All right.
Can you mention the artist that you're working with now? Oh yes. So I work with Christian, who is in the Philippines. He does a lot of my girl power covers, which is crazy, but he does amazing realistic characters. So he'll draw pieces of the characters if we can't find the specific image or the specific contour that I'm looking for. He's that talented that he'll just take an image and like draw the face the way I want it. Okay. I used Kip. She runs Solidarity Graphics. She's based out of Africa. And she's my main designer. We work together on like most of my covers, and she came to me. She found me. I didn't even find her. She found me on Instagram and was like, can I design a cover for you? And I was like, you know, I was a little taken aback, like, girl, no, I don't know you. Like,
right.
So she was like, I'll do a test cover and we can do it. And when I tell you that talking to Kip is like, I can give her 4 words of what I'm looking for. And she's like, I got you. We are so connected. I'm like, why are you all the way in South Africa? Can you come to, you know, can we be in the same city so we can like sit in a room together? But her energy is so easy to work with her. She's so like, if she can't find the image, she will scour for hours. I never have an issue with her. Like, no, girl, it's too hard. I can't find it. I'm just like, oh my God. Like if I have to start researching, you know, pictures and stuff for your job, then we can't work together anymore. Like it's too much. What's I use? I use Celine. She is, I think she's in Canada now, I think. I think she's in Canada now. She's in college, so she's been moving back and forth from
Okay.
to Canada. I don't know, but she's amazing. She actually did my cover. That's the books that I have a book releasing this coming Monday on the 12th. She did the cover for that.
Monday. Okay.
Yes, Monday. That's my birthday too, so I'm very excited.
Well, happy birthday in advance.
Thank you. Like I have to drop it out there so somebody can tell. But no, so she's amazing and she's so young and she's such a new talent. And I can see like, if this is what you're doing now, girl, I got to get my claws in right now for you blow up. But she's amazing and she's so sweet and she's working now on like 6 other covers for me for future projects. So it's amazing coming in contact with, like I said, POC designers who are just excited to see, because they want to see themselves represented just as much as I do.
Just in case you're tuning in for the first time, we are talking to Jessica Cage, an author of fantasy fiction that is based in Chicago, Illinois. You are also listening to Soul Perspectives. We're going to take a quick break right here on CKUT 90.3 FM.